offer a few words of Torah for everybody.
Hey, Michael.
Let's give it up for Michael.
Shabbos, everybody. It's good to be here. I thought I was going to deliver this after I read my Torah portion. It's going to be before. So the three lines that I read were from I'm going to read are from Exodus 34, verse 13 through 15. And the first sentence says, "But ye shall destroy their altars, break their image, and cut down their groves." And I guess it's telling me to do that to anybody who has a false god, break their altars. And it seems kind of harsh to me. What happened to the live and let live for the people who want to worship other than I do? So the way that I interpret this sentence for me personally is that drugs and alcohol were my god for many, many years before I got sober. So my loving higher power doesn't want me to F with them. You know what I mean? Because it's a life and death situation for me. So higher power is adamant and serious about me not having a relationship with my false gods of food, drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever separates me from him. In the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it states, "We will seldom be interested in liquor, and if tempted, we recoil from it as if from a hot flame." So that resonates with me, with the Torah portion that I just read. As long as we keep in fit spiritual condition, we will be placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. And I feel that way right now. It's kind of nice. So what about the second sentence that I'm going to read that says, "Thou shalt worship no other God, for the Lord whose name is jealous is a jealous God." Jealousy, I thought that was a character defect. But I guess God's jealousy is not of my human understanding. I believe that my God's jealousy involves his desire to protect and preserve the relationship that I have with him. And he's jealous and protective of anything that interferes with that relationship. Right now, my God feels pretty unconditionally loving. He wants me to keep seeking him with zeal, eagerness, and diligence. The longer that I'm sober, the more that I'm driven to seek God in all my affairs. God either is or he isn't. What's it going to be? It says in the big book, to die an alcoholic death or live life on a spiritual basis. Right now, it seems like it's a no-brainer, you know. There's no choice. But what about on the days, I'm so clean and sober 27 years a day at a time. And what about, it's about this loving higher power that I'm trying to get connected to with you guys. What about on the days when my character defects loom large, when the fear seems a lot stronger than any God that I think I understand intellectually? Well, it seems that this jealous God that the Torah is talking about wants me to protect my sober life. On the days when my higher power seemingly disappears, God gives me a little gentle nudge, a little willingness to maybe go to a meeting, maybe call a sponsor, pray, meditate, call a fellow in recovery. All of the actions suggested in the big book that bring me back to a conscious contact with a loving God who's very much alive and present in my life today, as I believe he must have been for my Jewish ancestors many years ago. The last sentence that I'm going to read in Hebrew shortly, at the Torah portion, it says, "Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice." Okay, so the way I understand this is that I stay away from lower companions, slippery places, and stick with like-minded people whom I find in meetings, who are here today, who have sponsors, who are actively involved in a 12-step program, having commitments, a home group where we derive a sense of accountability, community, and family, helping others, definitely, and having enthusiasm and love for the 12 steps. So what I've tried to do is adapt the three sentences from the Torah through the eyes of a loving higher power as I understand it, and relate it to my experience with the 12 steps. I want to thank my family and my friends who showed up this afternoon to support me. The community definitely of Beit Teshuvah, who have been nothing less than unconditionally accepting of me. I've always felt guilty and stupid and lazy for not being more aware and involved in the religion that I was born into. You have allowed me to open up and be me while trying to get closer to a God of my personal understanding. Thank you for your acceptance, for your music, and gentle guidance. Because you know the madness of addiction and are seeking to live in the solution, the special identification that we have for each other makes my Jewishness a little bit more resonant and meaningful. Thank you again.